Hello and welcome to another video. This is the rooster in the background. This is the final video of, I won't show you just yet, the final video of Nathan's F81 build. So it's come an incredibly long way and it's looking incredibly good. So yeah, let's have a look. Super cool. Be even more super cool if that rooster would shut up. They only just started doing that.
They're crying to each other now.
Yeah. So F81 build from originally what was Nathan's family wagon. Yep. F30.
F81 320D. What it started its life as.
Yeah. And went into, you came across the crash damaged F80, right?
Yeah. Well, the story goes that I was trying to sell my F31.
That's right.
And because I'd pumped a bit of cash into it and it was quite cool in its own right for a 320D. Like I had M3 wheels on it and it was lowered and it, it really looked the part. So I wanted to make some of that money back, so I was asking quite a bit of money for it on Trade Me and didn't really have any hits. So then and an F81 wagon had always been on my radar anyway. Like I'd always wanted to build one of those. And so when the crashed F80 came up, I sort of thought to myself, oh, could I make it work? And yeah, I ran a few numbers, decided what I wanted to pay for the crashed one, and decided on a budget that I was willing to spend for the whole build. Thought I could make it work, and so I hit the go button on the crashed F80.
Yeah.
And the rest is history, really, because you've documented that in all the other videos about what we went through. So
yeah. So we've got 2 previous videos on the channel. I'll chuck this on the playlist actually, and they're all on the same playlist together.
Yep.
So if people want to see, we haven't actually shown the build process, but just really we've caught up as it's kind of happened and
at different phases.
Phases.
Yeah.
So and obviously this is the final phase. So it's got everything M3 on it. It's as close to an M3 Touring on an F chassis is what you're ever going to get, and it's the M3 that BMW never made.
It is. Of course, you can buy a new M3 Touring now, but you couldn't in this chassis. So no, I'm pretty stoked with how it's turned out. It's been a massive project, a lot more work than I initially thought it was going to be. If you haven't watched the other videos, we basically stripped the whole M3 was the first thing. We took cut rear guards off it, even right down to, we took all the interior out, stripped all the wiring, all the modules, everything came out, dash, everything. It was basically a shell when it went to the scrapyard. And then at the same time, we were stripping the 320D, like everything was stripped off it, engine, drivetrain, suspension, all of the subframes, obviously all the body panels came off, and then it went off to the body shop and had the rear guards grafted on. One of the rear guards from the donor car was damaged a bit too much in the crash, so we ended up buying a new rear quarter from BMW.
Oh yeah.
And grafted that on. And so, like you can see, you can't really see it, but when they grafted it on, that with the cut marks are basically below the swage line, and then down here somewhere. So I mean, the guys at Collision Connect did an amazing job with that. You really can't tell.
No, you can't.
And it's more than just the external guard too, because the M3 has a wider wheel tub, and so you have to do the inner guard as well. So that's a genuine M3 and the guards are being welded on there and all done factory and sealed with all the factory sealant.
Yeah.
Painted, primed, you name it. So
Yeah.
that was all done. I think I might have mentioned it in previous videos, but there's a couple of things that the standard 320 or any like F-series chassis doesn't have.
Yeah.
And the F80s do, which is like the subframe. They have an additional subframe mount, which is in behind. You can't really see it because it's in behind that guard liner now, but
Right.
that has to get welded on. There's also a, I'll pop the bonnet so we can have a look. So it needs a bit of a clean in here, but that will come in time.
Yeah.
But this brace here was one of the ones that was,
That's right.
some of the guys that have built F81s haven't bothered to put that brace in because it doesn't have a mounting point up here on the A-pillar.
You've remedied that with a, did you get an angled washer or something?
Yeah, so we have riv nutted a mount in there.
Yeah.
And made some custom washers because the angle of that panel is actually different from on an M3. So when this is mounted, the mounting face is actually not flush with the A-pillar of the chassis.
Yeah.
And so we had an angled washer just made so that they mount nicely together and can pull tight. So we've remedied that.
Yeah.
And then of course, yeah, everything else is M3. It's all factory apart from probably the intake.
Yeah.
We did a pinned crank hub on it while the engine was out.
Yeah, good idea.
Because that's a known sort of weak point, especially if you start tuning it, and this has had a tune on it.
They slip, don't they?
Yeah, they end up breaking.
Breaking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, and it cooks the whole engine.
Oh yeah.
So it's better safe than sorry, I think it was.
Definitely.
It might have been $1,100, I think, from Evolve.
A lot less than
And,
destroying your engine.
Yeah,
though.
well, exactly. And the engine was out too, so it's one of those things. I mean, how far do you go while it's out? Do you do a lot of stuff? But I think we just focus on doing that.
Yep.
The air intake, it's got a tune on it. It was a comp spec to begin with, so I'm not sure of the exact power numbers, but comp spec initial base power, and then they have tuned it a little bit from there.
Yeah.
Had to get a new headlight, which was a bit of a major.
Yeah.
Headlight hub in the UK helped out a lot there.
Yeah.
Securing that for a fraction of the cost of a brand new one from BMW.
Come the boys. So, yeah, and obviously the new panels that you've bought for it, the rear quarter, like you're saying, that was damaged, and obviously the M3 front quarters,
so
fenders.
what happened with the donor car is that it aquaplaned on the highway, and it was a part of the highway where they had the ropes.
Yeah.
And so he ended up, the ropes ended up going straight through here, across the bumper, through the headlight, through this guard, and of course, it didn't touch the doors, but it ended up coming up over here on the A-pillar and ruining that rear guard. So a lot of the guards on this side of the donor car were unusable.
Yeah.
Managed to secure a used bonnet, used guard. That's a brand new bumper from BMW. The guys at Coombs Johnson just, they go above and beyond really. They were pretty pumped about the whole project, so they were really happy to help out.
Yeah.
And I hooked him up with a lot of parts, and it was a lot of toing and froing, and you know, I'd order a bunch of parts, and then 2 days later I'd be like, oh, actually I need this as well. So
Yeah.
and they were only too happy to accommodate.
Have they seen it yet?
Yes, they have. Yeah. So Coombs Johnson put on a golf day once a year as well. So I took it to that, and a few of the boys had a look there.
Yeah.
And then the parts guy that I've been dealing with a lot, Andrew, his kid goes to the school on the same street as my house.
Oh yeah.
So he called in the other day and had a look at the finished product.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, he was pretty happy with how it's all turned out.
Yeah.
But effectively, like as you said, like it's as close to a road going M3 Touring as you're pretty much going to get.
Yeah.
From the factory. The only probably other modification it has is that I am running that MSS adjustable suspension from Evolve.
Yep.
Automotive as well. We could have run the M3 suspension.
Yeah.
but with the additional weight in the rear, a lot of the guys overseas that have built the same car
Yes.
have decided to go adjustable so they can set the ride height properly.
Yeah, because you've got a different different car sitting on it than what it was intended for. Eh?
Yeah, correct.
So,
and then of course I've got just some wet carbon, cheap carbon lips on there at the moment.
Yeah.
I couldn't stomach sort of spending 5 and 10 grand for a fully fledged carbon dry carbon setup, just only for it to get ripped off on New Zealand roads.
Yeah, you want to use it, and you don't want to be stressing about things like that. So, they look good, and the little spoiler on the back as well.
Yep,
so.
That's an AliExpress special, that one.
Yeah.
Stuff
like that. I mean, unless you're going to be looking at something microscopically, there's kind of no need to pay a fortune for certain things.
Exactly.
It sort of does the same job at the end of the day. So,
and I'm really undecided in terms of what I'm going to use the car for. But one thing how I build all my cars is I build them to be driven.
Yes. Yeah.
So spending thousands of dollars on carbon and getting worried about it getting taken out by a pothole, what have you, stone chips or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just not up my wheelhouse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing I'm most proud of is, like, I mean, Richie from Mals in the Netherlands, he dialed in and did all the coding.
Yeah.
And he was like watching an absolute magician in the background doing all the coding. So everything works as it should. Like, it is just amazing. We've done the LCI light update. You know, like, boot operates as it should.
Yeah.
Just like a family touring, really.
Yep. So really, if somebody didn't know that BMW never made these as an M3, they would just think this is just an M3. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
yep, very much so. Yeah.
There are some around. It's the other thing I was going to say too. I've got a feeling this might be the only one in New Zealand.
Yeah, there was a guy that had posted on a Facebook post I did that's got a full-bodied F81 bodied Touring, but I'm not sure what engine he's running. He doesn't have the S55 in there. Doesn't have all the subframe suspension and stuff, but it looks like an M3.
Okay.
So he's done all the bodywork side of it. But I guess what makes this one unique is that it is basically everything from the donor car has come across. You name it, diff.
Yep.
You know, subframes, suspension, brakes,
like
everything has come across, really. All the body panels. The only thing that is the original is obviously the chassis, and then the doors are still the 320 doors.
Yep.
But the door handles have been updated to all the comfort access ones as well, from the F80.
Yep.
And of course everything's coded and works as it should.
Yeah. You'll see, and if you have a look at Nathan's or at the other videos, you'll see the absolute bird's nest of wires that Nathan had.
I've still got a little bit to do here too as well. Like there's a tiny bit of. I still need to do a bit of looming up there.
Yeah.
Which is why I've left that cover off.
Little example there.
I just haven't actually got round to it.
Yeah. But that will
be easy enough to remedy. Like, it just needs to be unplugged from the modules and just loomed up. And I've been using all the right BMW loom tape with the fabric loom tape, and everything is done beautifully. Like, the wiring was probably the most difficult part. I know Cam from Collision Connect will be watching this, and the rear bumper definitely was very, very challenging for him.
Okay.
But you can see what a beautiful job he's done in the end.
Yeah, it's seamless.
It just looks like it was meant to be, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
It got a bit difficult in terms of this swage line that comes in here, and then following that swage line around there.
Yeah.
Because this is actually from the 320, and so like how those two sort of angles meet there was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're all warranted, registered, certified.
Yeah. That's that's cool. But that's been an easy process, really, because you know, the bizarre thing is that people will do the most minor things to vehicles. And they say, no, sorry mate, you know, but so it's worked out well.
Yeah, and I guess the cool thing is that it is all BMW stuff. I mean, those only aftermarket bits is the suspension and the intake. Yeah. Really.
So that's the way it should be, really. You know, that's should be an easy process, and it is. It looks really good from this angle with those flared guards, eh? I think. Have you got a favourite? Have you found a favourite angle?
Not really.
All
Not
of them?
yet.
360.
I mean, it is really surprising how much wider those guards are.
Yeah.
Like you can see, I'm running the comp spec wheels, the 66M wheels, which are wider.
Yeah.
And I still reckon I could probably put a 10mm spacer on those wheels.
Yeah.
And just to get it fitment.
Yep.
I love getting my fitment right. So
Yeah, same.
I mean, you've seen my Alpina, and I think the fitment on that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
The E28.
Yeah.
So I'll work away on that and get some spacers, probably some longer wheel bolts, and
Yeah.
get that fitting a bit nicer. But yeah, all the interior is all M3. We did a bit of customising. Scott from Elite Motor Trimmers.
Yeah.
Essentially rebuilt the rear seat.
Yeah.
That base is the M3 base, so that's come straight from the M3.
Yeah.
And then the back seat, the back of the back seat, is the Touring seat, but it's been recovered completely in the M3 leather.
Yeah.
So they stripped the leather off the.
And they've done a good job.
Yeah, and the fact that it works properly too, like it's a 60/40 split, which is how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Definitely.
You see guys overseas that have just put the M3 seats in there as well.
And they don't fold.
And they don't fold, no.
Oh no. I mean, that's part of the, one of the good things of having a wagon is being able to.
Yeah, and you can chuck luggage and all sorts of stuff in there, right? So,
Yeah.
and being comp spec, it's got the comp spec seats as well, which
Yep.
have the vents in there. The big
Yep.
holes in them. So, no, it's really very cool. Even all the door cards, everything, all that's leather from the M3. The only thing I was really gutted about, not the previous owner, but the person who ever ordered the M3 to start with never ticked the box for extended leather.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get the leather dash.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that is the M3 dash, even
Yeah.
though it looks probably identical to just a normal 320 dash.
Yeah.
But it does have the heads-up display, which is what came on the M3.
Yeah, well, that's handy. Yeah. Awesome. So cool, man. And I noticed that you've got the yellow DRLs as well,
Yeah,
which look cool.
yeah, I do like them.
Yeah.
I think it just adds a little bit of kind of like OEM plus sort of
Yeah.
look to it.
Is your plate one that you've had for a while, or did you get it for this?
Yeah, some people might recognise it. I had
Yeah.
an E46 M3, a red one,
Oh, yeah.
that I used to do a lot of track days in.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's sort of where it's from. I think I might change it probably to something more like F81 M3, which I think is available, or something to do with that.
More specific to to the build. Yeah.
But my M3 was pretty immaculate, which is why I like the number plate track rack, because I used to track it as almost like a track hack kind of car.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful car.
Yeah.
It was really well kept and looked the part. And quite fast.
Yeah. Good
Not as fast as this thing, but bloody hell.
So talking about that, we're going to go for a little blat. There's quite a few quite nice roads around here, so we'll go check some of them out. Do that now.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounded nice when you arrived, just cruising in.
Yeah, so I think I've got everything just in comfort mode at the moment. Comfort. So steering comfort, chassis comfort, engine efficient. And I mean, it just drives like a normal station wagon, I mean, yes, the suspension's a bit harder than my X5.
Yeah.
And then one of the things I love about the F80 is you got the M buttons as well.
Yeah.
So I think my M1 puts everything into Sport Plus, but still automatic transmission.
Yeah.
But you really, I mean, it is just the comp spec exhaust, so it's not super loud or anything like that.
Yeah, it's good. You can just hear it, you know.
Yeah, boogies when you want to. That wasn't even my foot all the way to the floor.
No, I bet. Oh, it's such a lovely sound. Sounds a little bit better than the old 2-litre diesel, mate.
Yeah. I mean, it just drives so beautifully like an M3 should, you know.
Is this DCT?
Yep.
Yeah.
DCT.
You don't need to touch that, to be perfect the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tune them or not. I haven't heard of it. It's not to say you can't. I suppose the competition spec, the CS. You know, the M3 CS that they make, I think, or the GTS is it? I think they might have a different tune on it.
Right. Yeah. There's probably someone that simulated it, you know, but you've got to have the need to, This feels fine. Does it auto blip when yourself? That was you? Yeah, not you doing that.
Fast.
I think
that's a good thing.
I think that's the intention of the M people.
Yeah, I was, now that I've finished this, or almost finished it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm wondering what is the next project.
Oh, really?
Because I've got, I think I might be close to having almost the perfect garage with the E28.
I think
which
you might
is
be.
Not a powerful car by any means.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful to look at, and when you drive it fast, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it sounds great.
And it sounds amazing.
I'll put a link below. Actually, I'll throw that in your playlist. So if anyone's looking for that video, it's...
Can do. I'm sorry if I'm wearing the same jersey, because I think I might be.
Don't know if I was wearing my Star Wars t-shirt that day.
It might have been May
the 4th today, so happy May the 4th be with you, everybody.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, Nathan did a Alpina Tribute E28 build, and it's a beautiful car as well, so it's definitely worth checking that video out if you're into your cars. Doesn't matter what cars, really.
Yeah, really happy with how that one turned out too. I've actually just bought a I think it's called Samsonus chassis mounted short shifter,
right,
to put on it, but it kind of sticks it, it's up here a bit closer to the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any kind of shifter modification on that car whatsoever. So I'm really excited to get that fitted and do a few new bushings in the shifter and stuff like that to make it really quite fun to drive. But yeah, it's one of those. This car is one of those cars that I think non-car people probably just look at it and go, "Oh, it's a station wagon."
Yeah, you might think differently when they hear you drive off if you
maybe
were in a hurry.
Yeah, but you know, you have to really know probably BMWs to understand the specialness of it. You know, like they never built a wagon in the M3.
Yeah, and it's not like you've actually just gone out and bought an M3 wagon and done something to it, or customised it, or whatever.
Nah,
you actually created
it's been a lot of work.
Yeah, you created it from scratch. Yeah, and like you say, anyone in the BMW world, like that guy you said pulled up next to you and called out, "Hey, I've seen that on YouTube." You know, people are drooling over it. So
yeah. So I'm excited. I'm just a bit gutted that now it's winter and we've pretty much got no more car meets until summer.
Yeah, you do get like you get days like this though. I mean, you know, this is an autumn day in New Zealand. Not a typical one, but when you do get a nice one, it's definitely a good time to get out. And, we're still doing car meets over in the Bay Plenty, so
it's not a big trip over there for me, is it?
Actually, the Euro Car Club are talking about doing one in the Waikato soon, so yeah, stay tuned.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, some good driving roads around here. Be a good place to come with a car club actually. There's something I've heard comments on with the G81 is, compared to the G80, the fact that you get a little bit more of the car sound coming through because it's a wagon.
Oh yeah.
So you can pick it up in that, you know, the area that you haven't got in a sedan, it's at the back of the car, which I think is a good thing. You put your seats down, you notice it even more.
Yep.
Just about ate my camera then.
Sorry about that.
You could go down to the land speed next year. Ooh, there's a thought. Reparoa.
Faster station wagon?
Yeah, it would be. Wow, there's probably no category for that, so you take it out even if you were just, you know, cruising down. I've planted that seed now. Well, that's awesome, Nathan. Thank you, man. It's so good to see the final product.
Yep.
And to experience it too. So, yeah, I think I've been almost as excited as you over your project as what you have been. Maybe not quite, but...
it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but I'm pretty happy with how it's come out and everybody that's helped as well.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I didn't give a shout out to before was that SD European. I know I've mentioned them in previous videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did a lot of the mechanical work for me and did an amazing job, and they really know their stuff.
Yeah, I'll put a link to them in the description down
below.
below.
I'll give you a link to all of the guys.
Yeah, I will. So anyone that's been involved in this, I'll put a link down below, and if you're looking at getting probably not just BMW stuff done, but you know, any good stuff done to your car, well, check out the